Hello and welcome to the short Vort on Parshas Pikudei. The Midrash in Perek Lamed Tes, Pasuk Lamed Gimel says on the Pasuk of Vayavihu HaMishkan El Moshe. They brought the Mishkan to Moshe. Midrash there brings down the words in Mishlei that we know from Eshes Hayel. O Zohadar Levusha is praising the woman that her strength and her majesty is her clothing. Atislach Liyom Achron, and she will rejoice in the last days. That this is teaching us that the ultimate reward for a tzaddik, for a righteous person, is in Olam Haba. Midrash then brings down the story with Rabee Avahu, when Rabee Avahu was on his deathbed. Hashem showed him the rewards, with the Midrash Rabbah in Rabbah says was 13 rivers of balsam. If you know what the significance of that is, please contact me at shortvort5775@gmail.com. I'd like to know what is so special about a river of balsam. Clearly, it's a great reward. But then he says that he rejoiced and continued. He said, all this is for me. I thought, Larik Yagati. I thought I was doing all this work for nothing. But the ultimate reward is for the later day. Did Rav Avahu think that he wouldn't get reward for Hashem? Did he think that Hashem's promises of schar mitzvah would not come? So the Imre Yosher asks, and he answers, as well as the Pninim Yakarim. They say that because he was someone who was involved with defending the Jews with the king, and he was respected by the king, and he had to spend time away from his learning, which he thought was bittul Torah. He thought he would lose out for that. This comes to tell us that even actions that are not exactly Torah, not exactly mitzvah, if they are serving a purpose of mitzvah, if they're doing it l'shem shemayim, they can get reward for that too. Everything comes with us into Mashiach and Olam Haba. Even our mundane work, when we're working and we're doing it to put food on the table and send our children to yeshivos and do other mitzvos, that work is a mitzvah, and that work itself will be rewarded. Not just learning Torah, not just the chesed, not just other mitzvahs. And this is a similar lesson, once again, that we find a different Dvar Torah in the same, using a different pasuk in the parsha to come to the same point. In Perek Lamed Tes Membeis 39:42, just as all Hashem commanded Moshe, Kain asu b'nei Yisrael as kol avoda, so did all the Jews do the work. And this is from Messages from Rav Pam, from Mara Cohen al Haggadah, and he brings out that the Ramban and Ramban Nachmanides, Rabbeinu Bachya, they both pointed out the interesting word of that they did is kol avoda, they did all the language of avoda. Why doesn't it say the language of malacha, like work? After all, this was talking about the construction of the Beis HaMikdash. The answer the Ramban gives is that it teaches us that even their actions, they didn't look at it. They didn't look at this as construction job, what they were doing. They looked at it as service of Hashem. Just like it says by Kohen, it calls it the avoda. To them, this was avoda, not malacha. This was a divine service, serving Hashem, and not just a construction or other physical work. And so Rav Pam says you can learn from this the important lesson that everything we do, whether eating or drinking, can be elevated for mitzvah. For Shabbos, you're doing it for Simchas Shabbos or for Simchas Yantav, and you're doing it to have strength and the ability to do mitzvahs. You're sleeping in order to be healthy and have the energy to do mitzvahs and to learn Torah. All these things we get rewarded for. Rav Rosner points out, and he's the one who pointed to the initial Mishnah Brura in the Midrash Agada from his Shir on Parshas Pikude 5779. So he wants to say, what is the connection of this Devar Torah, this Midrash, to Vayavihu HaMishkan El Moshe? So the first answer is the Mishkan. There's additional parts of the Midrash that precedes, and this actually answers that. But the point of Rav Rosner is to tell us that Mishkan was talking about mundane activities and doing them. And as we said, eating, sleeping, and working. All these things we will be rewarded for. We must view it as part of our service to Hashem. And of course, we'll be rewarded. May we bring the Gula Shlema Mehir B'Meina. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful week and a wonderful Shabbos and Chodesh Adar. Mishnichnas Adar Beis Marbin with even more simcha.